Kamala Harris, who ain't black, married a white man. Now, first of all, and this is where the consistency. If by your admission she's not black, why are you including her? You know what I mean? Pick a struggle. Hi, I'm Reese Waters, and this is Racist of the Week, where we explore the stupidity and hypocrisy of discrimination in hopes we can build a more perfect union. And also laugh. As usual, I would like to thank today's sponsor, Racism. And of course, if you have any nominees, you can drop them in the comments. You can email me at admin@reesewaters.com. Today's nominee, Jasmine Crockett. No, that can't be. Huh? Who nominated her? Byron Donalds? Nah, I need to look at this. Play the tape.
And if we continue to put people into office, and that even means some of our skinfolk who definitely are not our kinfolk, such as Byron Donalds, who are going to continue to say that, the fact that you sitting around talking about life was better under Jim Crow, is this because you don't understand history? Or literally it's because you married a white woman and so you think that whitewashed you? I'm not really sure, what it is.
Well,
but
you
I
couldn't
need
even be married to a white woman under Jim
Correct.
Crow.
Correct. And it took Joy to call him out.
Oh, y'all remember that, right? When Joy Reid had to call him out for that very thing and make that same point?
During Jim Crow, could your family have existed? You are in an interracial marriage. Your wife is a white conservative activist. Could your family have existed at all during Jim Crow?
No, it could not, Joy. We all know that.
I guess that's what he meant by during Jim Crow, the black family was together because they couldn't be with white people. I think that must have been because they had to be. They had no other alternative.
So I'm like, bruh, what are you talking about? What are you saying? He just out here, I feel like they give him his talking points and he's like, yes, massa, I got it.
Now, I could see hearing they give you your talking points and you say, yes, master, I got it. Hitting hard. But Byron Donalds, wasn't this you?
It's not just going to be that. I mean, when Americans see deportations or repatriations happen, they're going to be like, thank you. When they see the border closed, they're going to say, this is what I voted for. When they see peace starting to break out again around the world, they're going to be like, this is the stability that we were asking for. Daddy's back. And that's what you're going to see.
Yeah, I mean, you said it. You called another man daddy. So, daddy, massa, what do you want from me? I don't really see that. Why was she nominated for that? If anybody could make sense of this, it would be the Cartier family. This is utter racism and hypocrisy from Jasmine Crockett to say that Byron Donalds is whitewashed because of his wife's race. Absolutely nobody said that about Kamala Harris and her white husband and 2 white stepchildren. Now, this is why I went to the Cartier family and why I love them so much, because they missed the point to such a degree that they make my point. We saw that when I addressed them directly, actually still talking about Jasmine Crockett when she was talking about how efforts to diversify workplaces actually give people that are overqualified an opportunity to get positions that they should have gotten otherwise. And in making that point, said that black women who are chronically underemployed are the most educated demographic in America. And what was y'all's response?
You need to respond. I just think her response to immediately go to pointing out how black women are the highest earning demographic is completely irrelevant.
That was the
You're also
dumbest
the
shit I've
lowest,
ever
the
heard.
least married, and the lowest earning, but no one ever brings those stats up.
Most
But you want to
abortions,
highlight
all types of
the paper.
Exactly, to miss the point to such a degree that you literally make my point. Now here's the thing. So you want to call Jasmine Crockett racist for saying that Byron Donalds is whitewashed because he has a white wife, and you use Kamala Harris as an example. Now I'm sure that Jasmine Crockett, somebody who was one of the chairs of her presidential campaign, is well aware of who Doug Emhoff is. So if in being around an interracial couple wasn't a problem for her, but she brings it up with regards to Byron Donalds, that would stand to reason that the issue isn't the partner, it's you. It's right there. It's literally right there in front of your face. And in fact, let's stay in Black MAGAville. Let's stay in Black MAGAville. Because I think that you guys can continue to miss the point and help my argument. Let's go to Laverne Spicer. Uh-oh. Nah, I can't make sense of this. I need AI. I need AI to come help me read this. Help me weed through all this. Kamala Harris, who ain't black, married a white man. Now, first of all, and this is where the consistency. If by your admission she's not black, why are you including her? You know what I mean? Pick a struggle. You know what I mean? Pick a struggle. Ilhan Omar, who also is not black, married a white man. Ketanji Brown Jackson married a white man. Don Lemon married a white man. AOC is pretend engaged to a white man. And thank you for that litany of examples that prove my point. I could not thank you more for dunking on yourself. Something that I thought I'd emptied the clip on you in that past video, but I didn't. You're a renewable resource of ignorance. It really. I should actually monitor her more closely. I actually had a whole video just all about this very specific topic when I talked about the litany of liberals who are pushing specifically for just, fair, and equitable treatment of disenfranchised communities, mainly black, but not always, who are with white partners. That is a club that I happen to be a member of. And I made a whole video about what that means, respective of the fact that you have a gang more people on the right side of the aisle. I see you, Tim Scott, talking about pretend engaged. That was pretend engaged, right? You, Laverne Spicer. You have a whole gang of people, the Clarence Thomases of the world. I can go on. All right, fine. I hear you. I hear you, Candace Owens. I hear you. You don't need to be yelling in the back. It's a whole gang of people over there that also have white partners. Now, if you have all these people over here with white partners, and you have all these people over here with white partners, then what that tells me is that white partners is not indicative of a person's feeling of connection or loyalty or the work that they will or won't do in order to advance white supremacy, whether they fight against it or whether they push to cement it. One thing we have learned is their partner is not specifically indicative of that. Yet, here y'all want to come and make that exact same point to call Jasmine Crockett racist. And it just, and in doing so, you give permission to all the people who've been calling her racist anyway. They just wanted a new opportunity. So let me get this straight, Jasmine Crockett. A sitting congresswoman just called Byron Donalds whitewash for marrying a white woman, so he's skinfolk who ain't kinfolk. That's not progressive, that's racist, full stop. You don't get to claim moral high ground on civil rights while dragging good men for who they love. That's not kinship, that's clan logic with a different robe. America moves forward when love is free, character is king, and color isn't a cage. Shame on Crockett for trying to take us backwards. Yeah, well, reading comprehension was never really, that was never really MAGA's thing. But in terms of love being free, oh, you mean like J.D. Vance's?
J.D. Vance also has a non-white wife, an Indian wife, and a kid named Vivek. All his kids have Indian names. So it's like, what exactly are we getting here? And that's not a dig at him just because I'm a racist or something. But it's like, who is this guy really? Do we really expect that the guy who has an Indian wife and named their kid Vivek is going to support white identity?
You mean like how y'all came for J.D. Vance's wife? You mean like that kind of free love? Because that wasn't us that did that. That wasn't us that had him apologizing for her not being a white person. That was not us. And hopefully he kept her away from social media during all the H-1B flap where they were coming specifically for Indian people. Yeah, so go ahead and deal with that. But when it comes to the most objectionable responses to this, Eric Bolling, come on down.
But first, Jasmine Crockett, Jasmine Crockett, someone's got to do something about her. She needs to be contained. Her arrogance and ignorance make national headlines every week, but her racism is unlike anything we've seen before from an elected official. She's so open about her feelings with no filter whatsoever. She's never condemned or disciplined by her own party, her own group, or anyone on the left, which continues to enable her, almost encourage her to say whatever she wants at all times.
Okay, so you went with arrogance and ignorance, right? Now this comes the same week as we got this from Lauren Boebert.
That's part of the evidence that points to President Johnson's either incompetence or involvement.
Mr. Morley, I think you had something to add on that.
I think you're confusing Mr. Oliver Stone with Mr. Roger Stone.
I haven't stated it yet.
Who?
Sorry.
It's Roger Stone who implicated LBJ in the assassination of the president. It's not my friend
Is that what all the
Oliver
whispers
Stone.
were there? I may have misinterpreted that, and I apologize for that.
And just a week after, we got this from Marjorie Taylor Greene.
Yep. Anybody else?
Should the defense secretary?
What country are you? Wait, what country are you from?
From the UK.
Okay, we don't give a crap about your opinion and your reporting. Why don't you go back to your country where you have a major migrant problem?
Okay,
and you no. You should care about your own borders.
Do you care about American lives being put at risk?
Let me tell you something. Do you care about people from your country? What about all the women that are raped by migrants?
Do you care
No,
about
by migrants. No, do you care? Okay, you're done.
Do you care about American lives being put at risk?
You know what? I don't care.
Service members fighting for your country.
I don't care about your
vice
fake news.
president
Do you have a
and your
relevant
defense
question?
secretary?
Yeah, this is an American journalist. Thank you.
I'm American, and I'd like to hear your answer to what she's asked.
I'm not answering her question
right,
because I don't care about her network. If you would like to ask, I can answer.
Do you have any concerns whatsoever about the complete disregard of operational security from the top level of this administration?
You want to know about complete disregard about operational security? You should talk about the Biden administration and how they ripped our borders open to terrorist, cartel, child sex trafficking, human trafficking, and drug trafficking across our borders for 4 years. The Trump administration is doing a great job, and I stand by their statements.
So
I stand by their statements. My comment to you is I'm thankful to President Trump that he is leading us out of wars, that he's ending the war in Ukraine, where American lives could have been killed if Joe Biden was still president today, whether he liked it or not. We're talking about NPR and PBS today. We're talking about fake news that was funded with federal funding from American taxpayers. That's what this is about today, not journalists from the UK that should care about their...
A journalist is being vilified for exposing failings in the way that your government conducts itself. It's not
Now, the ignorance was one thing, but it's the arrogance for me. Because one thing that has been established by the right wing's attacks on Jasmine Crockett is her level of education. And one thing that she has made sure to get across is her level of qualification. That is something that's been well established. But you choose to call her arrogant. Why would that be? Huh? Why would that be that you choose to call her arrogant? Because she's arrogant for speaking the way she speaks with her qualifications. What would Lauren Boebert be? I would love to know. In fact, the same women who had the nerve to call Kamala Harris a DEI. Yeah. came fresh out of central booking to call the vice president, former senator, and attorney general a DEI. When y'all want to open the arrogant files? When does that happen? That's just let me know. Just let me know.
Byron Donalds was her latest target. Congressman from Florida. Maybe the next governor of Florida. Who knows? Byron Donalds is Jasmine Crockett's latest target, and she had plenty to say about his personal life after learning that Byron Donalds is married to a white woman.
You know, I feel like they give him his talking points, and he's like, "Yes, massa, I got it."
Like, listen, Jazz, that is the most racist thing you can say. You can say a lot of things, but you're not allowed to judge people by the color of their skin. That's what we've been told. That's racism. African Americans have been pushing to stop that kind of rhetoric for 50 years. And who are you now to say Byron Donalds doesn't deserve to be in Congress because what do you call him? Uncle Tom? Is that what you called him? Because he has a white wife?
No, I don't believe that she did. I think you just did that though. Yeah. I believe you just did that though. So congratulations. Are you gonna do yourself for Eric Bolling is racist? Is that the next segment?
What's wrong? He doesn't agree with your stance on immigration, with your stance on really anything. You're horrible. You're a horrible human being. You're a racist. You're the one who should be censored or thrown out.
Now, she's a horrible human being who's a racist and should be thrown out. Now, let me ask you this, because I've already addressed the nonsense of making this about Byron Donalds' wife when it's clearly about Byron Donalds. But let me ask you a question, Eric Bolling. Would this be racist?
This is Jasmine Crockett. She's vying to be the silliest member of Congress since AOC. She says crazy, racist stuff all the time, and it's a little trick. She tries to intimidate people with it. It often works. I wish she'd tried it around me sometime. It's not going to work, but when people start talking like this, it has a way of kind of shutting people up. It's an act of, it's a low-grade aggression, microaggression. Maybe it's a macroaggression.
Now, I get that this might be the debate that black people have sometimes about whether we can be racist. And some people say, why black people can't be racist because we don't have the power to affect other people and whatnot, which I never engage in that because you're discussing two completely different things. But it's just fascinating, the laser-like focus on what Jasmine Crockett says when you respond, and by you, I mean right-wing media, you respond to her in ways where you perpetuate stereotypes and you push narratives that actually influence policy. What is the level of response that you have for that? What's the level of smoke that you have for that? Clearly none, because that's what you're actively doing. So clearly none. So I'm just trying to sort out what exactly is racist and what's not. And by the way, while we're on the topic of horrible human beings, this special from Todd Starns, you might remember him for being the one who tried to call out Jasmine Crockett for being educated. Somebody say racist? He's back at it. Here's faux ghetto Jasmine Crockett shucking and jiving on the radio, accusing Rep. Byron Donalds of being skinfolk, but definitely not kinfolk because he married a white woman. Now he makes the same disproving leap by bringing up Kamala Harris, but even throws Obama's mother in there. Okay, we'll go ahead and add her to the list. Thank you for that, Todd Starns. But here's my question: faux ghetto. So she's faux ghetto. Do you regularly use shucking and jiving? Is that something that comes out of your mouth regularly? Is that something that you generally characterize people as shucking and jiving? Is that a regular shucking and have you talked about Trump and J.D. Vance and Pete Hegseth shucking and jiving, or is that reserved for Jasmine Crockett? While you're calling her racist and faux ghetto. Thank you. Come again. Huh? Oh, Byron had a response? No, I am not believing that. I'm not believing that. Ain't no way Byron had a response. Byron didn't even have a response for Ron DeSantis. When Ron DeSantis came in and called him lazy, Ron DeSantis said he had the itis in Congress. That's what Ron DeSantis said, and he didn't even have not only did he not want to take on Ron DeSantis, he said, please, sir, may I have another? Got slapped right in the face and said, please, sir, may I have another?
So I think people look at it and say, you got a guy like Byron, he just hasn't been a part of any of the victories that we've had here over the left over these last years. He's just not been a part of it.
Well, look who's here now. Congressman Byron Donalds, the man himself. DeSantis says you were not part of the victories. Would you like to respond to that?
No, not really. Listen, Stu, I'm just really thankful, first, to have the support of President Trump and have his complete and total endorsement to run to be the next governor of Florida.
But he actually had a response to Jasmine Crockett?
First and foremost, don't talk about my wife. Keep my wife out of this. Ain't got nothing to do with her. You can talk to me about policy anytime you want to. Secondarily, there was a couple of times on the campaign trail last year where I know I was booked to be on stage or to be in debate with Jasmine, and all of a sudden, her schedule changed. She had a conflict, whatever the case might be. So if she wants to do this, if she wants to have that debate, I'm easy to find.
Now, are you intimating that she's scared of you? Is that? I mean, that's one possible explanation for it. It could also be she does not want to be in the same place at the same time as Byron Donalds. Like it could also, she's just not that into you, bro. Like I have received that kind of treatment as well. And I'm sure you did, because you wouldn't have gone to the Jamaican accent as a youth if you were received in any way better.
You ain't got to look hard for me. I'm 6'2". You can find me. It's pretty easy. Number 3, and most importantly, this demonstrates, frankly, the racism in the Democrat Party, because they don't have a problem when Kamala Harris is married to a white man or when Ketanji Brown Jackson's married to a white man, as long as they subscribe to the politics of the Democratic left. As long as you do that, everything is fine. But if you're a conservative, but your spouse happens to be white or of another race, then all of a sudden it's a problem.
He made the point actually a lot more directly than I did. Because Byron, I would like for you to explain to Laverne Spicer and the Cartier family and Eric Bolling and Todd Starns why just making the direct connection to Kamala Harris and everybody else they mentioned is foolhardy when this is about you. And you just admitted that it was about you. You just called all of their explanations nonsense. But go ahead.
This is the racism that occurs in the Democrat Party. I'm sick of it, tired of the BS. I tell any one of them who have a concern about me and what they think my views are, debate me. And if you don't want to debate me, Google me. There's plenty of information out there, because I know that I have the facts. I have the information. I can back my stuff up. All they can do is throw out innuendos, throw out talking points. And the last thing I'll say about Ms. Crockett, and I'm going to leave it alone. Jasmine, I don't use talking points. Nobody tells me what to say.
You sure about that? Huh? You sure about that, Byron? Come on now. Come on.
Byron Donalds, Florida. Wow, that's nice to have you here. That's good. That one is smart. You have smart ones and you have some that aren't quite so good.
Donalds. McCarthy.
That one is smart. You have smart ones and you have some that aren't quite so good. You know what look at my African American over here. Look at him.
And so I know how to deliver a message because I have facts, I have logic, I use economics, I don't get into hyperbole. So if you are concerned about some of the things that I say find a show. It could be whatever show you want to. We'll sit there and do it. We'll have a good time along the way, and you'll go ahead and be defeated very quickly.
Now let's see if exactly that is the case, Byron Donalds, because I appreciate you calling the rest of the right-wing sycophants idiots for their response to this in bad faith. But But specifically, this idea that you don't subscribe to the politics, and so that's why they're coming after you, where she calls you whitewash. Let's look at the evidence, Byron Donalds. And I quote, "The wedding to Erica led to what seemed like a fast change in fortune for Donalds. When he left Tallahassee, he had nothing," Hall said. Less than a year later, he's living in a giant house. Both Donalds and his new wife worked in finance. He as a bank credit analyst, she for a New York investment management firm. Things also changed politically for Donalds. Just a month after the wedding, he changed his registration to the Republican Party. "I never talked about politics, but during my career, I got passionate about it because of a financial collapse in 2008, Donalds said during a 2023 interview. He jumped headlong into the right-wing Tea Party movement, which was virulently opposed to the country's first black president, Barack Obama. Donalds, who was then in his early 30s, began speaking at Tea Party rallies, playing to the older and almost exclusively white crowds with hardcore conservative messaging. At a rally in 2010, he gave a speech on the back of a truck with a sign reading, "No taxation with Marxist representation." That was from Byron Donalds' ex-wife. And by the way, Byron, she's still looking for her money for the divorce, that quickie divorce that she paid for. She's still looking to be paid back for that. A month. That's how long it took you to register for the Republican Party. So, what you want me to do? Like, those are the facts. And here's another fact. She was somebody in Jasmine Crockett who spoke out for you when you wouldn't even speak out for yourself. Remember you hanging outside the Capitol, panhandling for biscuits while they were choosing the VP and then later the cabinet? Now, as far as the right wing is concerned, you guys are absolutely obsessed with Jasmine Crockett. You could see how they came like roaches to try and respond to this.
And those 401k people who were depending, those retirees, all of that, just talking plain speak with them. Look, when this nation used to go to war, people in this country would support the war effort with their materials at home and making things for weaponry and all of that. We got to do 100% buy-in over this bumpy period. Just communicate.
Hey, Byron, I haven't seen you at the Black MAGA stuff. Are you trying to distance yourself from them too? Huh? Because they could really use your help. They down bad. You should see the grammar in Laverne Spicer's tweets. Hey, shout out to all of the subscribers and members here on the channel. The day has finally arrived. We have new merch, which is live on the website. You'll notice some of that has some new logos. So I would love to get you guys' opinion on that. So stay tuned for some polls. Look out for those in the community tab. And by the way, those members, be on the lookout for a discount for you guys as well. And speaking of members, I definitely want to give a shout out to everybody who joined the last Members Live celebration. I wish Lauren Boebert would. I wish he would. Because I can go in the trunk. I can get my fat lever. You want me to get mellow on you? And speaking of which, apparently you guys really enjoy both the Black MAGA and the Karen content.
We have Republicans that are not even willing to address you.
Could that be a new regular bit on the horizon? Stay tuned.